Motherwell thinking for this one. There's only one absentee from last week, Stefan Givage with a hamstring injury, which again presents Jonathan Johansson another opportunity to prove he's the revelation of the season. His pace and stubbornness on the ball has brought him a crop of 15 goals at a regular place in the Finnish international side. John Spencer misses this, suspended for Motherwell. He scored the winner at First Park and will be badly missed. Michael Duisberg carried off last week is fit, and 20-year-old Mark Gar, on loan from Spurs at the end of the season, is in the side. However, you wouldn't need to be a skilled sociologist to work out why this Motherwell player was uniquely welcomed onto the Ibrox club today like a prodigal return. Of course, I'm referring to Andy Gorham, who performed here marvellously for the club, saving Rangers from annihilation many a time, and a test of that perfection will be if he achieves a shutout today. Referee for today's game, Bobby Orr from Kilbarchan. Well, I doubt very much if it would hurt Motherwell all that much if they suffered collectively from amnesia and couldn't recall their past history here. They've only won 3 times out of 24 visits, and indeed have only won one away game in the last 12. Facing a side that's bidding for its 9th win in a row. But I suppose life has a habit of kicking statistics into touch, which is what they'll hope for today. Although they'll have to improve on the display of last week against St Johnstone in the Cup, which sent their fans homewards with morbid thoughts. There's that long ball. Johansson is onside. Can he touch it away? And indeed, there is a mildish appeal for a penalty, which the referee turns emphatically down. Yes, there was no touch. There might have been just the slightest, but accidental. Kanchelskis, nobody inside him there. Back comes Johansson. He works very hard, this lad. There's Wallace making the run up front. Alberts to Johansson. He's got to go through himself, and he just gets the final touch there. Now that was a very typical little burst there by Johansson. I must say, he finds this facility to get away from players like that, and he's a leggy kind of player who's very much likely to get a final touch. Tony Davis out there, bobbing back and forward from the bench. About 7 minutes gone, still no scoring. That initial burst, well, Ferguson seems to have got off the boil in recent games. Comes back in there, strikes very hard, and Wallace coming away. Nice support on both sides. Oh, he might have stepped too far. And Broncos does get it down. Alberts. McCann. Neatly judged Johansson. Wallace. Little spin of the ball seemed to deceive him, and Brad Broncos, you could see by the way he inclined his body back the way that inevitably was going to be scooped up the way. As you can see here, Wallace decided that little spin of the ball would take him in that semicircle. And it was inclined a little bit too far back. Well, there's a man who gave his players a right going over this week for the performance against Falkirk, and it does seem to have an effect. Longish one again to McCann, who took off very well after it and sends it in. Oh, just past! That would have been a magnificent effort. The right kind of long ball, which has been intimated much earlier in the game by the Rangers captain. This time, one touch, and even Andy Gorham was poxed by it. Superb play. McCann after it again. He's being able to slip through, and I think Rangers do get the corner this time. Well, he's scored 4 goals in the last 5 games. Swung away to that far side. Motherwell defending it well enough. Back to Alberts. And Broncos, that might be there! It's offside. Wallace certainly came up very quickly. But I think you'll see as the Motherwell defence came out there. Well, it's difficult to say from that shot when he stepped forward into the offside position. But we'll give the benefit of the doubt to that man there, looking into the sun. Now the space for Ferguson. There really has to be a little bit more positive in this match. There he is again. Looking for somebody to run off it. Forced into that square pass again. McCann, a little bit too eager. Albert's looking for somebody to come towards him. There's Johansson. Well, that's a beautiful goal! No, just off the post. It looked to be in the back of the net, and he can't believe it, nor can the vast majority inside the stadium. Talk about having the words sticking out of your mouth here. Look at this. Looked in the back of the net. Andy Gorham, that fraction of a second behind it. A superb strike by the Dutchman. Straight there to Kanchelskis. Can't afford to do that. Cullen bringing it down under control. Back there to Chantil. Anti-time, Rangers not challenging at the moment. Should be cut off by Amoruso, and is. Well, Motherwell are picking up the ball a bit more readily in midfield. McCann is very deep for Rangers. Wisely looks for support with 3 players in front of him there. Brilliant ball by Van Bronckhorst. Look at that control by the Russian. He tries to go to the outside. I thought he was impeded. There's Waller! What a glorious goal! It had to count. Very reminiscent of an earlier effort by Van Bronckhorst, but this time you can see how balanced and poised the little man was as he went for that. 24th goal coming up. Bang! And even the marvellous reflexive instincts of the goalkeeper couldn't keep this one out. All credit to the Russian for keeping after the ball there. You might have let it go out and got a kick out of it, but Rangers are 1 up after 31 minutes. Van Bronckhorst has picked out that particular little patch for himself since the start of the game and fed balls forward like this one. That's superb. Done that several times. A little bit obvious there by Kanchelskis. Good one by Perini. The final pass is essential, and Andy Gorham. His first real save in the match. No chance for the goal, but this time he did hold Rangers at bay after a little bit of a tangle there by the Russian. He did get out of it well. And good play by Perini coming up to fill that little gap, and the goalie did get the touch. Well, Van Bronckhorst has been lying very deep in the game today, but I think he's justified that, and so has the manager, by putting him there with these superb long balls. He has thrice in the game put forward for Rangers to put Motherwell in danger. Good tackle that time by Van Bronckhorst. Now Alberts. Here's the Russian coming in. Can he finish it? Outside of the net. I think he let the ball go just a little bit too far to his right-hand side. Look at the way the net was threaded through to him. That's what I meant. It went just a little bit too far towards the corner flag. The referee brings the half to an end. Rangers winning by 1 goal to 0. It could have been even more comfortable. And I think very notable is the way they've taken up long balls from the rear, as McCann did early on with 1 touch, which almost brought the first goal of the game with Andy Gorham nowhere. And then that magnificent effort by Van Bronckhorst, and it seemed as the ball came back there, it wasn't going to be their day, but it was. And again, from the foot of this prolific goal scorer, Rod Wallace, after a brilliant play in the right, a superb finish, and Rangers, even though there's only 1 goal in it, looking comfortable, 1-0 at half-time. But I doubt very much of the Rangers' restless manager will consider the half-time a comfort break with only 1 goal in it. Motherwell have done virtually nothing against the Rangers' defence, but 1 goal is an narrow margin as that is played to Kanchelskis, but a let fly. And within 20 seconds we get an idea of the dynamic contribution this man can make to the game. patience is a key of the way that Rangers play the game now, of course. Trying to put a little pressure on him. As I said, a little bit of slackness appearing in Rangers play at the moment. Manager certainly won't like that. Alberts comes away. Really making inroads now. Now McCann took a very good position and he tries it himself. He certainly had Wallace just ahead of him, but chose to go for it himself, and you can hardly blame him. There's McMillan again. Malakari, good play. McCann having to come back again, picked up by Eddie May. Good support there by McGowan. Better face for Motherwell. There's McGowan. Rangers trying to close them down quickly. McGowan comes forward. That's a bit of ball, and I think there was a little fear about being played offside there with that final pass. Here's a man who hasn't seen too much since that startling opening of the second half. Perini just got away from it. Yeah, Johansson going in after it. Lovely control by Johansson. Oh, just away. What an impudent goal that would have been. Great control to bring it down, take it beyond the player, and then try to deceive the goalkeeper, who got that little touch. That goes down as a very good save. Once again, Gorham to the rescue with somebody pressing down at him. Typical, instinctive save. Lot of curling it and just touched over again. Now, he really wasn't tested all that much in the first half, even though he had no chance with the goal. Now we're seeing a little bit of the old Andy Gorham. Trying to swing that away from goal, and it's in again. Johansson, he got the final touch. Gorham left vulnerable that time. The Rangers player standing right on the goal line. Johansson's 16th goal of the season. The pressure was on there, headed down, just pushed down by Gorham from the feet, straight to the pin. Rangers are 2 up. Well, Dick Advocat has been in a waspish, typically waspish form today, shouting and screaming at his players and in anguish at times, but I think he might feel that that's done it. Well, although they are two startlingly quick, electrifying wingers at times, McCann and Kanchelskis, they both are considerably effective as defenders as well. Won't get back very well now. Nevin. That's not a bad ball there, and it's in. Yes, beautifully tucked away. The youngster, the debutant, coming in there. Ferguson couldn't defend it at the far post, and in he came. Gower making his debut in Scottish football, and plucks us up neatly. But all credit to the way that Nevin turned the Rangers' defence, and that went right through Kloss. Well, a dour expression there for a man who just pulled the game back a little bit. There's that longish one again meant for Kanchelskis, just a little bit too obvious now, I think. Play that out well, and just touched away from Alberts. He gets it again, though. Alberts is going. Lovely little ball inside, and that's a great save. His second marvellous save in the game. I think perhaps Rod Wallace was trying to be a little bit too precise, and he paid the penalty against one of the great one-on-one goalkeepers of all time. What an influence Nevin's had, not just the way he's played, he seemed to inspire the others. That's a beautiful move by Motherwell. Oh, look at it inside, and that's a dreadful finish. The best move of the match, and Duisburg flops it. Best move by Motherwell, I should say. Oh dear, that's the goal woefully exposed, and they may regret that. Wallace just getting that. Nevin playing the ball about well. Motherwell now got this Rangers defence under pressure. And Klaus looked quite stationary on the line. This is what Falkirk did to Rangers in the Cup. Remember, just at this phase of the game, the Rangers defence had somewhat disappeared. So in the midfield. Now Albert's still going. Now McCann. Motherwell have been pushed forward, of course. McCann goes in. Here's Kanchelskis. Tries to cut it back. Good defending, though. Rangers may be thinking of another substitution here. Well, I don't think there's any doubt about it that for the second week in succession, Rangers have significantly sagged midway through the second half. Their midfield outplayed. Palpable weaknesses on the left-hand side of midfield. Has been a play by Vidmar. Slow putting the ball over, and Amato couldn't come up for it. Wallace trying to get down there. Oh, and it's a bad ball by McInnes. Amato. Good play by Amato to Wallace. In it goes there, Charlie Miller trying to finish the game off. A good minute and a half into stoppage time, and this would have stunned Motherwell, who've been certainly in command of the game in the last 15 minutes. And there goes the final whistle too. I have to say, a cheer of relief around Iverson. Stunning contrast with when Rangers went 2 up and were sailing, and then suddenly came for the second week in succession a dangerous sag in the play. They had gone up in front, of course, from that superb strike by Rod Wallace in the first half, after great efforts earlier on by McKenna Van Broncos. And then when Johansson put the ball over, it looked plain sailing in the second half. But Motherwell plugged in there. They hadn't shown all that much initiative in front of goal, but the youngster Mark Garn, his debut, crept in there at the end. But again, a significant stride forward to another championship for the home club, for the final score 2-1.